What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome to the very first video of 2018. It's been a long time coming, about 11 days or so, but we are finally here in 2018, and I wanted to take a minute and just wish you all a very happy new year. Again, 11 days late, but hey, better late than never, right? So, again, like I said, welcome to the first video of 2018, and I wanted to start out with something that I haven't really done before, but I thought it would be kind of cool, especially in light of the new year. Before we get into that, just some couple of cool things that happened over the holidays. I actually picked up this thing. That's right, Xbox One S, the 500 gigabyte edition. Kind of on a whim. I know I'm not really an Xbox guy. I have never owned an Xbox system before, but I play online with a lot of dudes, and a lot of them have Xboxes, and they were kind of pressuring me into getting one. And I kind of wanted one for a little while because I wanted to play games like Forza and Quantum Break, games like that. And so I did. I have a few of them on my shelf back there. You can kind of maybe see them. So I got that shortly, or I think like right around New Year's, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I think it's a really great system. I actually purchased and beat Cuphead, which was really crazy for me. I never thought that I would ever beat a game like that, but it was such a fun experience. It's such a cool game, and I was glad to finally beat it. So I've been playing my Xbox One S quite a bit lately. It's just been a really great system. So yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So going into that, I wanted to, for this video, do a video game resolutions list, I guess. You know, anytime that the New Year starts, we have New Year's resolutions, and I wanted to do something like that, but in video game form. So I wrote down a few different ideas, and we're just going to talk about them, and I'm just going to share my thoughts and go from there. So one of the first things I want to do in this new year regarding video games, and I think pretty much any gamer can have this same sort of idea or have the same desire, and that is to finish more games. So I think everybody, any kind of gamer out there will say that, we buy games all the time and we, play them for a few minutes and then we just put them back on our shelf for whatever reason. And I kind of want to make a dent in my backlog of video games because God knows there's a lot of them. So one of my goals that I would want to do is to pick some games, maybe not all of them, because there are quite a few of them, unfortunately. Just pick some and, say, hey, I'm going to take a minute, I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to try and play this game for quite some time, and I'm going to see if I can finish it. If I could do that with maybe 2 or 3 games, I think that'd be really cool. Because, again, I'm still in school and working, and there's a lot of stuff going on, so it's kind of hard to find some free time to actually do this stuff, but I think it would be cool to ultimately do that eventually. So that's one of my goals this year, is to finish more games, because I always buy more and I just never play them or finish them for whatever reason, and I want to make a dent in that giant backlog of games that I have. So like I said, maybe 2 or 3 to start out with. Okay, if I can get more than 3, that'd be cool, but I'm gonna pace myself on that actually. But that's number one. Number two is to only buy games that I truly want. And I haven't really done this that much recently, more so towards the beginning of last year when the Switch came out, because when the Switch came out, there weren't a lot of games to play. It was essentially Zelda, Fast RMX, I Am Setsuna, and I did buy Super Bomberman. And I had never played Super Bomberman before, and I don't want to use Bomberman as an example because I did really like that game when I first played it, but um, ever since then I haven't really gone back to it, and I only really bought it because there wasn't really anything else to play. So I want to try to just buy games that I truly want to play, not just that everyone else has or just something that just comes out randomly, because like I said before, I've got other games I have to play. Another really good example of this is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for the Switch. I've never really been into Dragon Ball. I haven't really been interested in the series or anything like that. But the guys that I play online with, they all love Dragon Ball, and they just kept talking about this game, and they were saying it's going to be a lot of fun to play together. And at the time it was, I had a lot of fun with it, but just after a while I just got kind of bored with it, and I just didn't really want to play it anymore. And that's not necessarily knocking the game, because I think the game is solid. I think it's a good, game, but just for me it wasn't really what I wanted. So that's another one of my goals, is to only buy games that I really, really want to play, because obviously games can be kind of expensive if you don't find them on sale or they just come out or something like that. And I want to spend my money on stuff that I know I'm going to play and that I know I'm going to love. So that's number two. Only buy games that I truly, truly want to play. Because, like I said, I've got other ones that I can play. In the meantime, if there's a game comes out that I don't really want, but nothing else really comes out along with it, and there's not really anything else I want to play, just go to the shelf. There's always something there, or just go on the system. There's definitely something there that I can play there. All right. Number three is one that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and that is to try a game from a genre that I haven't really played before. So, I usually like a lot of first person shooters, a lot of RPGs, action games, hack and slash stuff, but one that I've never really got into was like real time strategy, just for some reason. When I was growing up, I always thought that those kind of games were just boring. They never seemed to interest me. It just didn't seem like a kind of game that I would want to play. And that's not to say that I should buy a game that I don't really want to play, again, sort of going back to point number two, but I've always wanted to try to get into that genre. And I've got a really good friend of mine talks about the Civilization games a lot. And again, I don't really know anything about Civilization or stuff like that, but it seems like a fun game that I would really like and that I would want to get into. You know, Back when I was younger, maybe not so much, but now that I'm older, I can appreciate that kind of stuff a bit more. And so I think I would really like to play, a real-time strategy game, or maybe like a fighting game or something. I've played fighting games in the past. I love Super Smash Brothers, but I'm talking more about a traditional 2D fighter like Street Fighter, Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom, stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of different things that go into those, fighting games like that. And it would be cool to just kind of sit down, try to learn a character, try to learn the move set, just try to learn how the game operates, and go from there. Because I like fighting games, I've just never been that gung ho about them. But I would love to sit down and just try to learn something like that, because I think that'd be really cool. And just learning something that I don't really know much about is always interesting and refreshing when it comes to video games, or just anything in general too. So that's another point that I would like to do for this year for gaming. Um, Number four, sorry, touch the microphone. Number four, I want to make a point to play a game that I've wanted to play for a long while, but just never got around to playing. Again, sort of goes back to number one, where I have to finish more games, but there's always those games that are out there that you see that you just, for whatever reason, you just don't pick it up, you don't play it. Maybe it's short on money, other things are going on, you've got other things to worry about, other games you're playing, stuff like that. And for me, I've got a couple of those different games in my own personal experience. The first one being Near Automata, or Near Automata. I don't really know how to say automata or automata, but that game just looks really awesome. I love Platinum Games. I love what they do. I love their stories, their action games. They're just fantastic. Crazy over the top action, tons of fun. Some notable games that come to mind are Vanquish on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and of course the Bayonetta series. I love Bayonetta. Cannot wait for 3. Very excited to pick up 1 and 2 when they release on the Switch next month. But Nier Automata, I've heard, is really good, a lot of fun, looks awesome. I actually have it sitting on my shelf, just have not got around to playing it for whatever reason, and it's been sitting there for months, and I just need to sit down, make some time, and just play that game. Maybe not necessarily finish it. Of course, I want to finish it. Once again, going back to point number one, but I want to sit down, at least try it, and at least get fairly far and say, hey, I've played a good chunk of Nier Automata or Nier Automata, because, like I said, it just looks really cool. I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I think it would be awesome to play. Another one that I haven't got around to playing, and the one that I don't actually have, is Horizon Zero Dawn, which was actually up for, or nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards last year. And again, heard a lot of great things about it. For me, it came out around the same time as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and so that game kind of took away anything else I really wanted to play at that point. I was all about Zelda, all about the Switch, and so I just never got around to playing Horizon Zero Dawn. So that would be another game that I would really love to play this year. Again, maybe not necessarily finish. Of course, that's the goal, is to, with any game, is to try to finish it, but at least sit down and try it and play it and see what I think and just experience that story and experience that game. I think that'd be really cool. And finally, the last point, the last resolution I want to have for 2018 in video gaming is to try and play a game that has been known to be very difficult. So one that I've always thought would be really cool to play, and that I just never got around to, or at least I tried it and I just couldn't do it, was Dark Souls. More specifically, Bloodborne, which I know isn't really part of the Dark Souls series, but it's kind of the same kind of thing. I played Bloodborne when it first came out on PS4. I think March, what was it, like 2014, something like that, and could not get past the first level. And I knew going in it was going to be tough. I knew going in that you're going to have to pay attention. You're going to have to, be very disciplined to do all this stuff. And I was like, can't be that hard. But definitely was for me, very, very intense. One that made me rage quit a couple of times, and one that I was just like, I can't. There's no way. This is impossible. This is absolutely impossible. But like I said before, I beat Cuphead quite some time, maybe like a week ago. I think like last week. And with that game, I was like, this is impossible. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to do this. But of course, I was proved wrong with Cuphead. And I feel like with Dark Souls, I feel like if I just sit down, am disciplined, try to remain in a good headspace, that I can actually at least get to the first boss, or at least beat a first boss. That would be a goal of mine. And I don't know if you guys saw it today, but there was a mini Nintendo Direct, and the first Dark Souls is coming to the Switch, I think in May, actually. It's a remastered version. So maybe when that comes around, I'll see if I can pick that up, see if I can check it out and try and play it. And like I said, just kind of sit down and just make some time and just say, okay, you got to be disciplined. You're going to die a lot. You have to practice. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware of everything that you're doing every single minute, or every single second, rather. And just sit down and just try it and do your best. And I think that would be really cool. And I feel like if I would, to at least beat a first boss, I would feel like I would be a competent enough Dark Souls player to try and proceed further. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to beat the game the first time or just be a master at it, but I at least want to sit down and be disciplined enough, and I'm repeating myself, but sit down, be disciplined enough, and just say, okay, just learn the mechanics, learn all this stuff, and see how far you can get. And I don't just want to sit down and just try it and say, okay, nope, this game's not for me, I can't do it. Because I want to get into the series, because I know a lot of people love it, and I want to experience that same magic that everybody talks about so highly online. And so just taking the time and trying it myself is a goal of mine for this year. Maybe not necessarily the first Dark Souls. Maybe I could try Bloodborne again, or I don't know if like one Dark Souls is like easier than the other. I don't want to say easy. I want to use that term loosely. But just try and see if I can try and play a game like that, and seeing how far I can get, and just train myself and just do the best I can with that. So anyway, that is my list there of the top 5 gaming resolutions I have for 2018. I'm hoping that I can at least do several of these things. Obviously, all of them would be ideal, but if I could make a dent in one of them or a couple, that would be cool. That would be ideal. Because, I love gaming, obviously. I have a YouTube channel. I love talking to you guys about gaming. I love playing games. Just everything about it is just so much fun. And I like to set different goals for myself in terms of, finishing more games, trying new genres I haven't played before, trying a game I haven't played before, stuff like that. And so I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm really excited to see what 2018 has to offer, and I cannot wait to see what games come out for the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, all that good stuff. Cannot wait. So let me know what you guys think about my resolutions, or actually what I want you to do rather is to leave your own resolutions. What are some things that you want to get done this year? What are some games that you want to finish? What are some genres you want to try? Or any other resolution that you guys have? I would absolutely love to hear what you guys have to say about that. So, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope 2018 is treating all of you very well, and I hope you're having a fantastic year. So, until next time, I am done for today. My outro just got kind of weird there. I lost my train of thought. But I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Take care.